Welcome, little one. This is your first day. Your designation will be RP-01/138. We expect great things from you. You have been born into dangerous times. A sharp mind can be the key to survival. But as often as not, it will be your inherent physical traits that win the day. And in this regard, you will be superior to your more common brethren. For you are a commando, an elite unit, something truly special. Your weapons, your armor, and most importantly, your brothers.
Men, listen up.
Delta Squad, form up.
Forming up, boss.
What is up, my fellow Republic Commandos? It is your boy Trey of the Batchan. We are live once again, returning to a galaxy far, far, far away, and possibly not far enough from Disney Plus. But we returning with light speed to discuss the latest episode of Star Wars: The Acolyte, Episode 4, titled Day. Oh boy, do we have a lot to talk about. I'm gonna just tell you guys, I rewatched it with my wife. Normally, what I do with these shows is I watch it reaction with you guys on the watch party, and then I watch it again with my wife. I don't tell her anything for the sheer aspect that I just want an honest reaction from her. I don't like to give anything away. I don't like to tell her my feelings, my thoughts. And she watched it. She made some of the same faces, weird noises of, huh, what? All right, weird. No. And to the point where I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. Wonder Wife literally turned to me and she said, "Do I have to keep watching anymore? Like, or can I just be done here?" She does not want to continue. She's already said, "Trey, it's you you continue on with Star Wars: The Acolyte. But
This is the way.
So I felt a little bit like my reaction was fair for the Acolyte episode 4, but I will even tell you, the second time I watched it with more of an open mind because I was trying to find reasons of why did they go the route they did, the decisions they made, and was I too harsh on my initial reaction? Did I have the wrong thoughts on why they did certain things? So I really came at it like that. I was like arguing with myself, like, okay, like maybe you're not thinking about this right. Now that we have come to this place, finding balance within the force of Disney Plus or the thread, however you want to look at it, we're going to be fair and honest as always with our reviews. As I said in our thumbnail, this is getting hard to watch. And as a Star Wars fan, that is killing me because I'm trying every way possible to find a reason to like it. And it's becoming more difficult. Do or do not. There is no try, Yoda. I'm trying very hard. Guys, follow us on our social media pages. Let's get through all the pleasantries. Follow us on one of our social media pages to engage with us, to talk with us, because we want to hear from you guys. It's just a great way to find out what's going on in our lives, your lives, or to send us stuff like my good buddy Beyond the Night. He sent me some really interesting information that we're actually going to use for this show. So Beyond the Night, thank you, buddy. I appreciate you. But yeah, follow us at _Bat Channel on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, or if you're on Facebook at Holy Bat Channel. So you already know. And guys, it helps us out so much when you smash that like, you share it, so you subscribe if you haven't already, and you hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. All right, without further ado, we do have some really cool shows coming up. Godzilla Kong, The New Empire movie review. Yes, the Jurassic World Chaos Theory Season 1 review is going to be coming out this weekend. And just a heads up, I know we've been doing our Acolyte watch party reactions on Wednesday nights. I'm now pushing it to when the show actually releases Tuesday night. So be on the lookout for that. The times are going to change, but we're going to do it as soon as the episode comes open, and then hopefully breakdown the next day. So Tuesday reaction, Wednesday breakdown. So be prepared. But yeah, without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and bring out the best co-host I could ever ask for. He's even hot and fired up about this one. Ladies and gentlemen, the Sith sympathizer himself, Super Bro Corey.
I'm here so I won't get fined. 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 I'm just here so I won't get fined.
I'm here so I won't get fined. It's kind of sad that's how I feel about this show, Trey.
It hurts, right? Like, because we were going into it I always say this, like, for anyone that's just like, you guys just want to hate on Star Wars, this whole thing that Disney's trying to push out that the fans are the problem with Star Wars, and it's like, no, because if you watch our reactions, we were really rooting for you. We're like, ooh, this is gonna be dope. Look at this. This is gonna be awesome. It's gonna be a little more mature, kind of little dark feelings going with it. But not only that, it wasn't gonna we weren't gonna have to worry about the prequel trilogies and the original trilogy because we were 100 years before that. And God, I'm eating my words because we are gonna have to worry about the prequel trilogy and the original trilogy and how they're messing that up. I don't know how you do that unless if you're not a Star Wars fan writing this, which I'm starting to think is the case. Right. Beyond the Night, already coming hot with a $2 super chat, says the time has come. The Bat Channel execute Order 66 on Disney Plus. He just wants us to, cut it right out. Beyond the Night. Thank you so much, dude. And like I said, thank you for your DM earlier with some interesting information. Really appreciate it, dude.
This one's for you, Beyond the Night. I'm glad you're doing better, my friend.
The time has come. Execute Order 66.
I'm excited.
And then the other thing before we bring in the next great guest, We have another bet again. I see.
Another bet? Is it
Yes.
between Oracle and Red Hooded?
Red Hooded Outlaw, yes. Yes.
Jesus.
So he said, "You want to make another bet?" And she's like, "I don't know what to bet on." And they said, "You would probably lose. You never know." Butler said, "Go for blue milk." People said, "Just do it." And then he said, "Oracle Clock Tower, make the bet." So he bet the Bat Channel made himself a drink for this one. And when I say a drink, I mean alcohol. She was hesitant at first. I said, this would be the episode. What do you say? She thought she's going to lose this one, but you're on. So, Trey, what is the beverage today?
Well, it's a Star Wars show. So,
Can you do
I
blue
have to
milk again?
have my drink of choice. So it is blue milk. But hold on. Here's the thing. What did Red Hooded say?
He said that I bet the Bat Channel made himself a drink for this one. And when I say a drink, I mean alcohol.
I was going to make a thing about this, but now that you guys have already kind of stolen my thunder, I made myself a
White Russian
blue
blue milk.
Tuscan is what I'm going to call it. So it's a White Russian, but with blue milk.
Okay, so how did you make it? So what did he put in there?
So it's literally just milk, blue food coloring, a couple of ounces of vodka, and like a shot of what is it? Oh gosh, Corey, the coffee one.
Oh, now I'm gonna make a.
Is it Kahlua?
Oh, yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah,
Quicker than I thought you would. That sounds actually pretty good.
Yeah.
What are you calling it?
I'm calling it the Blue Tuscan.
The Blue Tuscan.
The Blue Tuscan, because I was gonna say, dude, like I need a drink for this one. So
wow, and you're pouring it in with ice and everything like that.
Cheers guys. That's actually not bad. That's
really
pretty good.
Yeah.
Hey, cheers, my fellow Delta Squad.
I feel like you should say, "Hey, dude."
Hey, dude. Hey, dude.
The dude, man.
The dude. Hey, man. Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
All righty. Well, that's pretty hilarious. I think the time has come, Trey.
I feel a disturbance in the force, Corey, and that is our special guest. He was here for our watch party. Ladies and gentlemen, our good friend, Koji. What's up, big fella?
Hey, I bring the disturbance, but it's Disney's fault.
Yeah.
I like that, dude. I appreciate that.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate this. Always.
Hey, you're the best, big fella. So, Koji, I'm excited to have you on for the show because maybe you'll be able to add a different perspective that Super Bro Corey and I have. But
I actually really wanted Koji on this show. Like we always want Koji on the show, but for this one, I definitely wanted him on the show.
Okay, what?
I'll say the reason being is
later.
No, I'll say it right now. The reason being is he does have a different perspective because he is a director himself. He's making art. He's making, he's creating things. So he's a creator. So since he's kind of in that industry as well, I'm very curious to hear, because I'm going to bring up some themes and very curious to hear, your guys' thoughts on it.
Ooh.
And Oracle didn't have to do that, but I know they made a bet, but I thought it was more funny. The $5 super chat from Oracle's Clock Tower saying, "Congrats, Redhead Outlaw. Here's the bet, super chat. I still think I won because it's blue milk."
I mean, in a way, both of you were right. So, you guys all won.
I'm disappointed in myself. I don't have a blue milk super chat. That's going to be.
You're gonna have to make one, Corey, because that's gonna be. See, now I feel like I gotta switch it around. I can't have blue milk every time we do this show, you know.
Are you gonna get that clip from Last Jedi where he's like,
Oh, yeah, he's gonna be
there
that
you
one. Where it's dripping down his beard.
Just
Maybe you know what?
That might be the only good thing about that movie now.
Probably.
I'm gonna ask the community if anybody's good with AI and able to superpose Trey's face over Mark Hamill's face as he's drinking blue milk and it's running down his face. Send me the file and we'll put it on. So,
or I say you recreated Trey.
Oh, that's even better.
Zoom in, you just do it.
Yes.
It should be your beard, not his beard.
I just
you'll have to do it next to your dog, Ellie. Yeah.
That's weird.
I wasn't thinking of that.
Why, Corey?
The dog will look at the camera with that questionable face, like, what's going on? Humans.
That's just wrong in so many ways. Moving on, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, we can't move on yet because we haven't played a super chat yet.
Please play her super chat quickly. Orko, thank you as always for the super chat, for the love.
Since Trey's blue milk is spiked today, we're gonna play this one.
Yeah, white walls, straight halls, back door with the city it called.
I love it.
Love that.
I'm ready to go with this one tonight.
You guys ready? I feel like let's just go ahead and get into it.
Ooh.
We'll go through our breakdown and we're gonna dive in. Okay, so obviously we just ended from a flashback episode. We learn what happens, at least from one perspective, 16 years ago, about that tragic day for May and Osha. But we know from episode 2, May is still on the hunt. She is here to finish her mission that her master has placed upon her. She has to kill the 4 Jedi, at least one of them without a weapon. She's so far been unsuccessful with that. But we start on the planet Kofar, where Kelnaka, the Jedi Wookiee master that we're all super excited to see. I don't know about you guys, but I kept saying in our reaction video, it's like, oh, sweet, a Wookiee Jedi. This is going to be badass. Hell, they even used it for like a promotional event that Leslie Headland was out. She brought on a dude in the Kelnaka outfit, and we were thinking like, oh, this is awesome. This Jedi's going to be so dope. So dope. Awesome. Anyways, we see Kelnaka returning to his nice little hut, and you see actually the symbol that was from the witches, that little circle thing that they had on May's face when she accepted and ascended into witchhood. He has it drawn on the wall, so you're kind of getting the idea that like maybe he's kind of like the other Jedis. They're kind of dealing with this. They're dealing with the guilt of whatever happened 16 years ago. But he's cooking himself a nice meal. Very nice meal. But we get May and Kamir, who have arrived, and of course they're in the search for the Wookiee Kelnaka, her next target. But they mentioned the forest is very dangerous. There's bounty hunters that wouldn't even dare to enter this forest. So why would this Jedi Master make it so difficult for people to find him? Is he in exile? Maybe. But they have this conversation, Kamir and May, about her master and like why she serves him. And he kind of says, because I owe him. He's a collector of people, and we have to get this job done. But the question is, how do you kill a Wookiee Jedi Master nonetheless without a weapon, doing the Acolyte thing to do? What do you guys take from that conversation? Kamir kind of lets in that he owes the master that May serves. What do you think he owes? Koj, we'll start with you, and then Super Bro Corey.
That the master owes, the Jedi Master owes.
What does Kamir owe the master? This dark master that we haven't really gotten a chance to see yet.
I really don't know with how they're going about things with so many U-turns. I feel it's something that they're going to reveal later, but I'm kind of stumped, honestly.
Okay, so the mystery, you're not quite feeling where they're going, especially where Kamir's roll into it. I mean, he even says, right, like that, you know, I serve you. You know, he kind of directs it towards me, like I'm here for you. You know, I'm not here because of any type of personal vendetta that I have. I'm here to support and help you.
Yeah, but I feel like everything's a lie at this point. Like,
Oh,
I think everyone has some ulterior agenda, especially with how they do so many U-turns out of nowhere.
hmm
So I got a weird feeling that it's going to be something we're not going to see coming. I don't
okay.
know. I feel like if well, first off, like at first when they said, you know, how you got to kill him without using a weapon,
Mm.
I was thinking, oh, okay, are they trying to do that Palpatine thing where Palpatine manipulates other or encourages other people to do stuff for them so they don't have to do it in a way? Or
Mm.
is it some other technique method? But it looks like they robbed us of that entirely. So if he's needing them to do something, it's probably just I'm just not believing anything. I think it's going to be just
Mm.
a cover for something else that they really need him or
Yeah.
need to do.
Well, in a way, just kind of like what he said in episode 1, where he's like, you know, an acolyte kills without a weapon and therefore kills the dream of the Jedi, you know, the idea of what it means to be a Jedi. So in a way, I kind of feel like Jedis don't attack if they're not provoked, and if someone's attacking you without a weapon, it's almost like they're trying to force the Jedi to attack and retaliate unkindly, you know, to break their moral codes, to be vicious and aggressive in turn. Super Bro, I see you nodding your head. You seem to be, this is what they're going for. This is the
Dude,
purpose.
that's exactly what they're doing. They're trying to make the Jedi look bad. They're trying to make the Jedi look evil. They're you know, they're the Sith is, you know, holding up their camera phones, you know, we're waiting for that, you know, perfect shot of like, oh yeah, the Jedi attacked them, you know, like, yeah, it's insane, bro. Like that's exactly what they're waiting for. They're trying to make the Jedis look not that great.
Yeah, I agree. It definitely seems like they're trying to add some more complexity with the Jedi Order. I think even Leslie Headland, the show creator, said that who is, you know, who are really the good guys or the bad guys? Are the
It's
Sith really?
exactly what she said.
Yeah.
Leslie Helen specifically said that she wanted a time period after kind of in the middle of everything, you know, from you know the lost the what's the old Republic and the you know Anakin's council, and
Oh
she
yeah.
wanted a time period where she can kind of fluctuate and make them look like the good guys are not necessarily the good guys. They're actually the bad guys to the bad guys. Literally what she said,
Mm.
quoting bad guys to the bad guys. So this is what she's trying to do.
Well, it's all from a certain point of view, Corey.
So they're like that Palpatine stuff, anyways, you know, where it's all like pulling strings behind to get some result.
In terms of maybe the master's goal, maybe, yeah, it definitely kind of
Mm.
feels that he's trying to make a point. He's trying to reveal to the world that the Jedi aren't who they say they are, and that they're no different than the Sith in a way. So
Mm.
it's an interesting discussion, but I think it's misguided. I don't think it's being done with the best intentions, and all honesty, with the best writing capability. Red Hooded Outlaw says, "Make Jedi's great again." Put it on a t-shirt. It could
I
be a
want it,
great
dude.
t-shirt. I
I
don't
would
know.
totally
Like,
rock
let's
that.
do it. Just put it on the t-shirt. Maybe a hat. I don't know.
But what
Could be the
color
best hat.
would you? It can't be red.
It has to be a
Can't be a
blue
red
hat.
shirt. Yeah,
Yeah.
it has to be a blue
You're
shirt or a
right, yeah.
green shirt.
Yeah, maybe not a good idea. But
I love
That's
it though.
right.
I want to make one. I'm going to make one now.
Jesus,
That's happening.
Corey, go ahead and go to our next slide, please, good sir.
Yes, sir.
So we go back to Coruscant, and we see Jackie, who is currently Soul's apprentice. She's training, and in my opinion, we get the first really boneheaded piece of writing here overall throughout the story arc that we've seen so far. And that is Jackie sees Osha, and Osha tells Jackie that, hey, I'm leaving. It's not my problem anymore. I didn't know my sister lied, but I guess she is, and you've cleared my name, so have a good day. See you later. And to me, it's like, this makes no sense from the previous episode where we see literally, if she truly believed that, if Osha believed it's not her problem and she wants no part of the tragedy that she blames May for, to face that past that guilt between the two, then why did she go after her? When the Soul had it covered, yes, she was getting away, but why did she decide from that moment, I gotta chase my sister down and I gotta shoot her dead? That seems like a big 180 out of nowhere, for her to all of a sudden be like, yeah, I've decided not my deal. Like, I get the idea of not wanting facing your fears, but it didn't make sense for her at that moment to just completely drop the story. What was your thoughts on that, Koj?
I hated it. All the scenes with her and Osha, and what's the name of the Triceratops looking alien?
Oh, are you talking about Jackie, who has
yeah, Jackie.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's just like I don't know. I just hated those scenes, man. There was it just seemed like they got their lines that day and they were practicing their lines performance wise, and also it felt so shoehorned last minute. I don't know if they had changes or it's just straight up bad writing, but it just seemed like all any emotion that brought up to it from past episodes just didn't mean anything. And it was just like, yeah, I'm going to do this now. Are you sure you're going to do that? Yeah, I'm turning this way. I don't know. They won't have me. It seemed like too casual with any kind of stakes that you need for Star Wars. And I feel like I'm trying to make sense of bad writing, but I don't want to be harsh to call it just straight up bad writing. It's like combination of bad writing and bad delivery to the point where I'm like, you're not really buying any sincerity of where they're trying to do with, I think, course correction where the characters are going. It feels like this scene and then the scene about the bug that we'll go over later, I'm sure.
Yes.
And then the scene where the other character turned around, her sister, out of nowhere. Those lines seem last minute and not enough preparation with their performance, or they're that bad. I hate to say that. So I just think it's kind of hard to dissect it really, because I don't know. I feel like Wild Production, maybe they wanted to go a separate direction altogether. I just don't know. It's hard to dissect because it doesn't seem like it lines up with any goal the characters have. Usually characters have goals in the stories.
Yeah, no, and I think you bring up a good point there, and I like what Crazy Craig Rowland said, where it's simply he thinks the episode was rushed, and yeah, it really does. It really feels like they didn't give it a second to flesh out some of the emotions that were going on. It was like they realized they had a lot of ground to cover in 30 minutes. So you're just going to have to accept that there's been time between and some realizations that have happened throughout the episode that just deal with it. You can understand why they say or do or make the decisions or the changes that they do, right? You can understand that. Like, yeah, but if I don't see the character like go through that journey, then I'm going to ask why. Like, why are they making this choice? It doesn't feel natural. And sometimes, yes, granted, sometimes you make decisions that are kind of 180, but there was so much of that it kind of felt it felt like bad writing, just plot holes all over the place, and this happened 2 minutes later and this happened, but like, okay, what happened within that 2 minutes? Like that they just said to themselves, yeah, I'm gonna go completely against what you saw in episode 2 and the episode before that, and yeah, deal with it. Like, okay. Super Rokor, your thoughts about that Osha deciding to leave because it's not her problem anymore.
trash, straight trash, bro. In my opinion, I'm going to say it was horrible writing. It was god awful writing. It was it's the type of move that you make when you don't have a good story and you can't write a good story, and yet like, oh, I gotta throw some drama in there somewhere. I'm gonna make her flip a bitch real quick, like that's how it felt to me. Like we're just gonna try to interject some crazy stuff that goes in, and some drama for whatever reason, because she doesn't have a solid story. She doesn't have the foundation of path. She not everybody be Zack Snyder, right? Have this amazing like concept and like purpose driven points, and everything is so detailed. But this lady and creator and writers, man, you can tell they haven't made anything good in their lives, because this is what we get when we
yeah, I mean, if anything,
quick little burdens like this.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, I think throughout this episode, you just see more and more proof throughout the season that these are people who are writing a Star Wars show without really being a Star Wars fan. It wasn't made with love. It was made with like, ooh, this is a job and Star Wars is a big IP. Let me throw my shit in it, rather than let me expand the world and galaxy that George Lucas created and create something that feels like it belongs.
I will bring that up later in my closing argument.
Grant G says, who's Mrs. Flood? I have no idea what that is. It was the shortest episode of the season so far. Yeah, it was. Rookie mistake. So yeah, it's I understand the aspect that, like, yeah, she probably is afraid to face May, because there's definitely we know that Osha has had trouble letting go of the past. She does feel some guilt, because in a way I could see how she feels breaking May's promise and leaving her family, making the decision to become a Jedi was kind of the spark that caused her sister to go down the road that she does, that lights bricks on fire. But nonetheless, it just felt like a weird, chaotic change that just made no sense. But we do get to this really interesting scene that made a lot of people talk, which is the Jedi Council. They're convening about this whole May situation and the mystery of her master, this person that's training her to take out Jedi. She's already taken out 2. And to our surprise, because Leslie Headland said, no, there won't be any cameos, nothing like that. Granted, like I said, she could have just been saying that to hold on to the surprise a little bit, so I'm not going to hold that against her. What I am going to hold against her and her writing team is canon. This was a part I really try to open my mind to and say, well, is a trading card really canon that came out in 2003, right before Revenge of the Sith, about Ki-Adi-Mundi showing up? Kind of. But nonetheless, where it gets, and I even try to open my mind up to the idea that here they're talking about this master, right? A dude who's been training this girl. She has Force abilities, and she's killing Jedi with Force. And they didn't stop to think once, well, maybe this could be a Sith. Or, you know what? Some people are saying, well, it could have been a dark Jedi, so that's why, many years later, 100 years later, Ki-Adi-Mundi's like, well, we haven't seen Sith in over a millennium, over 1,000 years, and yet there was this one instance where apparently no one told Ki-Adi-Mundi about the former Jedi apprentice known as Osha, that she came from she was created from the thread, aka the Force, and was a twin that she's quitting and leaving the Jedi because she can't get over her loss. Like, he knows none of that information, so he wouldn't say something to the effect of when Qui-Gon Jinn says, hey, I fought this dude on Tatooine that had a red lightsaber and he was cloaked, and I think the Sith have returned, but they're extinct. That couldn't have happened unless if maybe he was a dark Jedi from what I dealt with like 100 years ago when there was this assassin killing all the Jedis. Like, he just
maybe we should make this a little bit more serious of a deal. Maybe we should send a little bit more help for this. You know, it makes, you know, when I first saw that, I was like, man, he lied. He lied to his closest friend, Qui-Gon Jinn. That's what you just made him do. He lied.
Yeah, which makes
Qui-Gon Jinn killed, and you got Anakin going to the dark side. You're completely flipped. Like me hating the Jedi for what they did to Anakin just went crazy, skyrocketed after what she did with Ki-Adi-Mundi. She doesn't realize the impacts that she created, the miscanonization of everything now.
Yeah, and not only that, but the simple fact that if Ki-Adi-Mundi exists at this time period, because they added 40 years out of nowhere, look at the trading card. Hell, look at Wikipedia at one point before they changed it. 93, before the Battle of Yavin, that's when supposedly Ki-Adi-Mundi was born. So they added 40 years out of nowhere. Just to fit the story, because hey, why not throw in a cameo there? But
Wikipedia changed it back, by the way.
They
did?
Dude,
so like, I didn't realize that there's drama there, but there's definitely some major drama there. I saw Star Wars Theory talking about it. I saw one of those like shorts today as Koj, Trey, and I were all sending each other shorts and such like that of like Ki-Adi-Mundi memes and such like that. Well, sorry. Well, what happened was, I guess Star Wars Theory, he was like, oh my God, I can't believe they did that. And then people in his chat said like, oh, they actually changed Wikipedia real quick. So people started like blasting Wikipedia for, you know, changing it, and then they got so much heat that they changed it back, and now there's a big, you know, issue between Wikipedia and Star Wars Theory, I guess. So it's
wasn't sure
lawsuits even talking about
just nonstop drama going in the Twitter world. But you know, to me, it's one of those things where, like, if Ki-Adi-Mundi exists, I'm willing to drop the trading card, the comics, the legends, you know, what George Lucas has set up. I'm willing to drop that. Okay, whatever. But if he exists, where's Yoda? You know, and therefore it would also makes the Jedi Council look even worse in Phantom Menace, because if Ki-Adi-Mundi is aware that there is a Force assassin training someone to assassinate Jedi, why would Ki-Adi-Mundi not bring that up as part of the conversation in Phantom Menace? Like, are you sure it's a Sith, or could it be another Acolyte situation?
You ready for this, Trey?
Yeah, go ahead.
The reason why they did that and why they picked Ki-Adi-Mundi is, once again, Leslie Headland's attempt to make the Jedi look bad.
Well, yes, there is that, because they actually
bad, incompetent.
Incompetence, corrupted, because they even mentioned right after this meeting where they're talking about, we must figure out who trained May. That is the mission, right? Like, we need to figure out who she's learning from and how he's, you know, how this master is able to take us out and avoid our, you know, forced telepathy, basically. But they say, should we tell the High Council about this? And Vernestra, the Jedi Master, who's kind of like the Mace Windu of this time period, basically tells Soul, like, no, we need to keep this under wraps, because if we tell the High Council, they're going to go to the Senate, and the Senate's going to know about this very, very, bad situation. This how did she put it, Corey? This scandal. This scandal. Yeah.
how the hell are they going to allow that to happen? I'm sorry. Like, is there anywhere in a workplace where, this dude just died and got killed by somebody crazy, and we're not going to tell the management, like, and now that the dude was killed by the same person, we're definitely not going to tell management about it. That we're just going to kind of sweep this under the rug. They're not wondering, hey, where is that my Wookiee Jedi friend? There's so many Wookiee Jedis. Where is my Wookiee Jedi friend?
Yeah.
What if that's
when
the
Yoda
plot?
says the Wookiees are my friends? Great relationships I have with the Wookiees. So he probably would have known Kelnaka very well. He wouldn't have been asking questions, like.
What if that's what this ends up being? Like a messy situation that to show the Jedi are bad, that they keep this off books in the end.
Exactly. That's what I'm wondering.
And to me,
and then he's an accomplice, Mundi over here.
And that makes it like that's the only way they can kind of fix this situation, right? Because they're breaking a lot of the storyline. They're kind of retconning a whole bunch of shit, and now they're in this issue, right? They're in this writing issue to fit back into what is canon, which is the movies, and they're gonna have to explain either all the Jedi died on this planet, Kovar. And no one was able to come back and be like, yeah, it's definitely a Sith, probably, because he has a red lightsaber and he has the Force abilities. Or they all just decide that let's just keep this one secret, guys. I don't think it's important to ever bring this up because if we alert the Senate, we're going to lose our power. Which at that point, I don't know what's worse. I don't know if it's worse just to retcon what happens in the prequel trilogy of Star Wars, or to make the Jedi look so shitty that you get the fan base to go like, well, maybe it was a good thing the Empire took over, because that was never the intentions George Lucas had. It was always the idea of good versus evil, I'm okay if it's like one Jedi that's corrupted, that makes some poor decisions, right? That is clearly in it from themselves. But when you say the entire Jedi Council is corrupted and honestly just completely pieces of shit, then now I have a problem, because now we're saying the good guys aren't good and the bad guys aren't bad. It's really a matter of perspective.
So backwards.
Dude, I talked a back chat with Koji after the watch party the other day, and we were talking about this, and I literally said that it's making me so like angry at the way they're treating the Jedi. It's making me super pro Jedi again. Like it's like now you're hating on my boy. Like I like to tease you, Trey, every now and again about Obi-Wan and his failures and everything like that.
No failures,
but
as you still
no
do.
failures. But it's irritating me. Like I can justify things that I blame the Jedi Council for. So like this hate on the Jedis is making me pro Jedi again, which I guess is a good thing for you, Trey. I'm gonna take the blue lightsaber now. Aha!
Oh my god, blue. And I see Battalion. He did message. He did DM me some of the things, and what he DM'd me was a lot of the writer of this particular episode. The writer of episode 4 apparently was answering some questions from fans on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. And I don't know if it was good that she was responding, because I think it almost would have been better if they just didn't answer, because now it's clear to me that they're incompetent. They're not Star Wars fans. These are people writing just to get a paycheck, because and I'm not saying to like go attack Claire, because hey, I understand you need to work, you need to make money in this world. At the same time, this is not good. These are the people who are writing Star Wars, and Dave Filoni or Kathleen, whoever's running the show, truly needs to figure this out and course correct a bit, because I think Acolyte is a bit of a lost cause right now. But this Claire Kitchell answered a question from a guy on Twitter, and he asked, you wrote this episode. Well, then I have a question. Why is Ki-Adi-Mundi in it? One, he wasn't even born yet, so calling out the complaint we all have. Two, he's not supposed to know anything about the Sith because they've been extinct for over a millennium. She responds and says, he doesn't know anything about the Sith, ? Why would he? And we offered the part to Yoda, but he wasn't tech avail, so a young Ki-Adi-Mundi stepped in for the part. I get she's trying to be cutesy there and kind of say, like, well, Yoda wasn't available, scheduling and all, so we couldn't have him, so we had to bring in Ki-Adi-Mundi. At this point, you know what the easy solution would have been? Not to have Ki-Adi-Mundi in it at all.
Yeah, have a different alien.
Yeah.
Isn't there a bunch of him around? You
would think.
There are 3 that showed up on SNL, the Coneheads. It's like, come on,
Well, it's one of those scenes where, like, how do you not, like, as a writer, any cameo that you bring into the show, the Star Wars fans are going to get excited, right? They're going to go, oh, snap. But then they're going to look into it and be like, because we're Star Wars nerds, and they're going to find out either how cool that is you added to a story, or they're going to start noticing all the inconsistencies you just did with the storyline. And look what just happened. Everyone's going like, well, Ki-Adi-Mundi's not even born yet. How's that possible? 2, he has this big line in Phantom Menace that says the Sith have been extinct. Granted, no one ever mentions the word Sith. No one ever, they don't show video. They don't have pictures, a hologram of this master. But what they do know is that this girl, who's the twin sister of a former Jedi apprentice, has been trained by someone with Force abilities and is a master and good enough, skilled enough to take out not 1, but 2 Jedi, and is on the hunt for the 3rd and possibly 4th, which is Soul. Like, how do you not, like, ask yourself, what the hell?
I'm starting to think with all the tech special effects money Disney has, I think they should go back and, like, recolor the red lightsaber a different color. I don't care. Pick it something different. So it's like totally, what's up, bro? So it'll be totally, like, not Sith related,
I mean, honestly, that could have fixed the situation a bit too.
Yeah, then he wouldn't have to be a liar. Then
Yeah, I mean, hell, it could have been a purple one. That one would have made sense.
Yeah.
Then you could have made the argument it's a dark.
And it's
Jedi,
like, this
right?
is the Mace Windu blade we got from the Acolyte. Oh,
right? Yeah,
really tough with the saber.
So, to me, it just shows once again. Now we have 2 occasions where they're just not really. They just don't care. I feel like they've already taken the chosen one prophecy, threw that out the door with the thread and the witches creating these 2 girls. You're messing with what has happened before, and this what's made the prequel trilogy and the original trilogy special, and you're trying to, like, take it for yourself. And I'm starting to have an issue with it. It's starting to become a problem a little bit.
It's like they're copy pasting what's established and then sloppily putting it together on something else.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. But of course, Vernestra, she has, once again, she's like the Mace Windu of the group. She's like, oh, we're losing. We need to figure this out. You need to take care of this. Soul, and Soul he's like, well, let me bring Osha. She's the connection to May. We could use her essentially for bait a little bit. We could use it to create an opportunity for us, because he felt when he saw May that she softened when she heard the name of Osha. So they're kind of leading you on to this weird 180-degree turn that happens. But I'll tell you why it's still bullshit in a moment. But he tells Osha that when May learned Osha is still alive, she softened a bit, that he saw the goodness in her, and that he believes with Osha's help, May can be turned to the good side, and that in a way Soul might be able to be redeemed for what happened 16 years ago. But of course, Osha is reluctant. She doesn't want to do this. But she kind of goes on this journey with Soul anyways, and as they light speed to go find Kelnaka to retrieve him and hopefully stop May from killing him. To me, this was one of the most unnecessary things that happened in this show. And this is the part where I ask, okay, I'm trying to make sense of why you're writing the way you're writing. And now you're starting to, I'm trying to give you reasons. I'm like trying to help you out, with Star Wars fans. I'm like trying to give people a chance, be like, no, this is okay. Like the witches on this other planet that have the ability of the Force, it makes sense, because why wouldn't there be another clan out there that has their own perception, their own definition of what the Force is, and why they wouldn't try to create their own reason behind it? We've seen that time and time again with any religion. It's why we have different forms of Christianity, right? And it's kind of like Themyscira. As a DC fan, I could be like, they're basically made the Star Wars Themyscira with the home of the Amazons. So I was trying to make reason of it. But then you start throwing in this little shit that I'm like, what was the purpose of that? How did this add to the story? So when you add this weird looking otter thing, Basil, and Osha has to make some sort of comment. Is he, whatever. Like, and then they didn't really address it. They were just like, oh, it's a he. He's our tracker. And it's like, why throw that in there then? What was the purpose to throw that in there other than to show this weird situation where this is the proper way to address people in this galaxy, is to be like, hey, what are you?
Because she she assumed that Beaver's gender there, Trey.
It's right. It's a bit messed up. She shouldn't assume,
or she can't really tell because she's never seen a beaver alien.
Right.
No one in Star Wars has.
Apparently,
but instead that line, they could have spent time explaining like why they need the beaver as a seeker when they have all these Jedis who could sense people. Because I'm not super deep in the Star Wars lore as a encyclopedia here, but I do know some stuff. So I remember Thrawn, when he was on a planet, it was either him or whatever, but there's these creatures that null the Force, where people can't use the Force around them, like some animal or creature. So if they establish like, oh, we're going to this planet and there's these creatures around where the Force is a little weak around them, we need a beaver alien creature to use natural senses to seek out this person, because these creatures are blocking our Force abilities or something like that. They could have used that time to explain that. Instead, they had this, again, I totally forgot about this dialogue, another nonsensical, emotionless dialogue between these two.
Yes, and that's the thing that I think,
for no reason.
Exactly. It wasn't needed. There was no purpose for it. And the writer, that Claire Kitchevel, actually said, like, I don't know why you guys are making such a big deal about this. It was just meant as a joke. And it's like, for what purpose?
It was
Who
funny.
Thought it was funny? Like, did your test audience laugh at that part? Did anyone thought?
Did you assume Beaver's gender?
Yeah, you shouldn't assume an alien creature's gender. Silly you, May or Osha. And to me, it's like,
how many people do that with spiders?
Right. It just felt, that was a moment where I was like, this, like Nine Lives says, it was forced. I don't see how it was funny. It didn't serve the story. It didn't serve the character of Basil at all, Basil. So it's like, all I can look at it as is you were trying to make a political statement by that. And not that I have a problem that you really try to make a political statement, because I know Star Wars in some way has always been a political statement in terms of, what happened with the Nazis and, different storylines and how governments get corrupted and stuff like that. But you should also read the room, read the general audience, read what's happening to Star Wars right now, read what's happening to Disney. Everyone is just waiting, foaming at the mouth to scream, kick, shout that Disney's woke. Bash it, ruin it. It's horrible. Don't watch this piece of woke crap. To the point where it's like, okay, are you just trying to egg these people on? Are you just trying to give them a reason to be pissed, to like come after you? Because if you're going to do that, then use it wisely. Use it with a purpose. Use it with the story in mind first. And you didn't use it for the story. You used it as a joke to insult your audience and to insult to get a rise out of those people. And that's why I had an issue with it. It's like you didn't do it with actual good intentions. You did it to get a rise, to have it be one of the things the headlines talk about. Look, see, you almost used it as a way because you knew people were going to talk about how trash the writing is of the show, so that you could have this shield and be like, well, see, look, there's bigotry in the Star Wars audience. There's racist, sexist. See how they're all pissed about this they comment? Like, how about just write good? Just care about the story before you throw in weird shit for no reason.
They could have gone harder with it, actually. Rewrite it to have her go like, he, they, it, that, and have more mispronunciation. And all of a sudden he creeps up on her. It's like, he's right here. And then they go, he is a tracker, and this is why we need him, because those bugs are blocking our force. And then that'd be more entertaining and more stuff. It's just like this is so, again, last minute rushed, brief, shock value with no entertainment value. Even if you do agree with that stuff,
I think you said it really nicely there, Coach A. It was shock value. It had no value other than to be shocking.
Yes, but this is what Leslie Headland was trying to do with this, with her, Acolyte story. She said right from the get-go she was going to make the gayest Star Wars ever, that she was going to make it queer. And when you start to move, which whatever, we're still going to watch it, but when you start to lose the story and good writing, and you're now just interjecting what you're trying to advocate for and push an agenda, that's where I get annoyed. Like okay, we're just creating a show so we can say, oops, is it he or they as a what beaver, who cares? And this is something that I feel like happens a lot in Hollywood. I'm not going to put you on the spot, Coach A, but are you willing to share that R&L story?
Which R&L?
Yeah, how to pronounce R's and L's?
Oh, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I can if I know where you're coming from, where it's needed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Okay. Like, okay, I see now. I caught up.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel that in it's not really helping the gay community. I feel it's kind of pandering to it for it at its expense. So the R&L story. I was on part of this project to get a like a sitcom for the History Channel, and it was supposed to be this like story of a guy who's white American who's in a suburb with a lot of mixed culture, like it's a melting pot of ethnicity. So the joke of this story was he's the tragic guy who gets everyone's names wrong and whatever. So I had a buddy come in for a table reading to do the accent of some Asian characters, and then they said, oh, can you make sure your Asian character has hard time with R's and L's? Which is a little ignorant because it's the Japanese culture that doesn't have L in their language or that sound, so that's why they have a difficulty with that sound pronunciation. But they could say R's because in their language they have Rin and Ryu and words like that. And then the Chinese, they have trouble with the R's, but they are good with the L's because they have Lao Su and Lin, words like that. So They just combined all stereotypes into one to make a joke that's not really that funny. It was actually very insensitive. Now, that's an example I feel that this is doing with shock value, no marital thing. I don't feel it's helping the gay community. If anything, it might be mocking them. And I'll bring another point too. I'm a big fan with pro wrestling. I know this is a different franchise, but AEW has this tag team, and they're both openly gay, and they're not acting out like a stereotype that people who don't like gay people would assume gay people be like. They are actually just carrying themselves as fighters, wrestlers. They joke, they fight as equals with people, and they don't force it forward. And that's acceptance. When you have a diverse group of people and we're all doing the job, pro wrestling, saving the world, superheroes, Jedi, and we're all working as equals, you don't need to force anything because it's already accepted. So then when you pander these things that are kind of last minute or shoehorned, and there's no sincere entertainment or world understanding value or appreciation, it's just, shock value, and it waters everything, even for it, and doesn't help against it.
When Kojay told me that story the other night after, I was like, man, that's exactly what Hollywood's doing. They're just pushing stuff to make drama and divide people. It's absolutely insane.
Yeah, I don't think they really care to bring people together. They just want to throw stuff out there, so we're talking about it, and they kind of win because now we are talking about it, but not in a way that helps any community, and that's what bothers me.
I love what you brought to that, Kojay, and the explanation to that, because I think kind of like what we were saying earlier, right? Like it didn't help the story. It wasn't to actually it wasn't actually to even benefit the community. It was used to mock, as a joke, as the writer called it. Literally, like, I don't know why you're making a big deal about this. And to shield bad writing, so that when people would, give the scores that they have been to Acolyte, and no, it doesn't seem like the majority, just based off what I've seen, and I could be wrong, maybe it's just a loud vocal minority, but it seems like all the Star Wars fans that at least I've engaged with, that I've spoken with and pay attention to, it seems like the majority are not happy with this show, and it's really bumming them out. And to me, it just feels like you're trying to create a shield, an excuse to go after and blame the fans for not liking Star Wars rather than yourself, because you threw something like that in there. But more importantly, you did these weird 180-degree turns that weren't earned with this show. So we'll leave it to that. I know we spent some time talking about something, a one sentence, a one word, but to me, it was one of those scenes where it's just like, it was so unnecessary.
Yeah.
And it's right there. And I love what someone said, like, you put an agenda over the story, and that should never be your motive. That should never be your motivation. It should always be story first. And if it doesn't benefit the story, get the hell out of here with that idea.
I love what Kaiju Crazy Craig Rowland said. When agenda becomes the reason instead of the story, the story's going to suffer, right? Yeah. Well said, Kojay. I was, I'm glad you shared that story.
Thank you, Kojay.
Thank you for bringing it up. I forgot we talked about last night.
Well, now that we get past all the pronoun craziness, we get back to Kofar, and Jackie is questioning the village, trying to find Kanaka, and we get this nice little side conversation where Yord still is just very untrusting. He does not like the fact that Osha has a gun on her, and he keeps challenging her, even though it's like been a Jedi that he is probably trained with. Corey, you can go back to the previous one. Sorry. Even though it's been a Jedi that he's trained with, he still thinks there's something up with these two, with something up with Osha and May. They might be involved with it together. But as we learn, or JK learns, I should say, from the villagers, is that the Jedi Wookiee Kilnaka, he's been missing for a year. He's been hiding out in the forest that no one dares to go into because it's dangerous. And once again, kind of pushes that idea that maybe for some reason, Kelnaka has been exiling himself, maybe because of the guilt, constantly throwing that idea, that theme with our 4 Jedis that were a part of the tragedy 16 years ago that made May go on this mission in the first place. But we learned that Basil is going to be the one that is going to help track Kelnaka so that the Jedis can find him. And like Kojay said, it kind of was one of those parts where I just scratched my head and was just like, why the hell do the Jedi have a tracker yet? Somehow, 16 years ago, these 4 Jedi were able to sense the witches create these Force children and seek out to find out what happened. They were able to do that on a planet that had no Jedi interference, but now on this other planet that Kelnaka's at, they can't find him. They can't sense him. They need to have a tracker.
Do they have to use a lot of force to find them, like a beacon? They don't even explain that.
Yeah. Right? It's just one of those things where the previous episodes, like, you can't be like the Jedi just showed up perfectly, knew where these 2 girls, these Force sensitive beings were at, and then to be like, we can't find the Jedi Master. We need a tracker. Yeah, it's
she was trying to create her baby Yoda with this stupid beaver.
You know, I honestly
like those little Pokemon creatures in The Last Jedi. You know how there's always some alien, they're like, hey, here's the next plushie.
Yeah, exactly. She's like, oh yeah, this beaver is going to be a toy someday.
It's always something furry. Have you noticed? Nothing reptilian.
And
or
beaver.
Godzilla just owns that. They don't want to go there.
It is true, because Wonder Wife, that was the one part she's like, oh my god, he's cute. And then when they made the they comment, she was kind of like, okay, that was weird.
I was thinking of like The Naked Gun with Leslie Nielsen. He's like, nice beaver.
Yeah,
I'm a little old. I don't know if any of you
exactly, dude. That's exactly what I mean. Totally. That's what I'm saying.
The little secret jokes in there, but then we get this nice little Lord of the Rings sequence where they're traveling over the mountain.
I mean, that's cool. I like seeing people walk in nature, something that looks like New Zealand, going from left to right.
I mean, even during our watch party, we were kind of like, oh, okay, that's a cool shot, like giving praise where praise is due sometimes. But then we get this weird shift with Osha a little further, where Osha and Yord are having this conversation. She's like, hey, Soul believes May can be saved, but I don't. And which is why when things go south, because they will, you need to take her out, because I won't be able to do it. I messed up last time. You need to be the one to kill her. And it just seems like somehow these 2 characters, Osha and May, are starting to flip. We were very convinced May was the evil one, the bad one. And now it kind of seems like Osha is actually the evil one, because she just wants May gone at this point. What's your guys' thoughts about that? Does this seem like a weird turn that all of a sudden we had Osha in the beginning of the episode, like, I don't even want to deal with this. I'm not going on this mission. This is your guys' problem, to, hey, when we find May, kill her.
I don't get it. It's so confusing. And then we're not at the part where May does a U-turn either. But I really don't understand these turn of goals with each character. They're not even explaining. Oh, I don't know. I don't like it, man. First off, they have this actress playing 2 characters, right? Is the same actress for the sister and then the other sister, May and Osha. So that means she's getting 2 roles. That means she's being paid double.
Yeah.
That means should be killing this role and all these lines. But all these things seem like weird U-turns that they don't really explain. And then the time they have to explain, they don't explain it. Like you said, she's like, oh, wants to kill her. Then the other one turns around, and is like, I want to find her.
Hold on. Don is saying, first off, welcome, Don. I think this is your first time I see you on the channel. So welcome to the battalion. It says, May isn't redeemable because she technically, and I think you're saying, didn't kill anyone?
She's redeemed because she didn't kill anyone.
How did she not kill anyone, though? Explain that to me. Is it
think-
because you're
I
saying
think
the
he
master put her up to it?
Well, I think I know, like he technically, the Jedi drank the poison, and then the first one's hard to explain. You're gonna have to help me.
Yeah,
here,
the
Don.
first. I mean, you can't forget Jedi Master Trinity. You're gonna have to explain how she technically didn't kill her. And I think technically in the court of law, I mean, then again, who knows how the High Republic works, but
They're like, she didn't kill her, death killed her.
Whoa.
Oh, he's gonna say there's a theory that Master Andara is that Sith.
You know, I had wondered that too. I thought that was an interesting concept, an interesting idea, because there's something. Indara did not seem like the best example of a Jedi.
And she definitely, like, she was hanging out at a bar, and she definitely, with how big of an actress she is, they did kill her off pretty quick.
Yeah. It would definitely be the one thing that none of us would be like, didn't see that coming, just because everyone thought she was dead. I kind of dig that. That's actually a super that right there might improve the show a little bit, because
the fans write a better show than the
writers. Better show. Fake Death and Smilo Ren appears on the same planet that Andara died.
Interesting.
Wait. And Smilo Ren I see what you're saying. Yeah. Okay, Smilo Ren appears on the same planet that Andara died. Interesting. It's an interesting theory. Don, I will say that if you're right about that, that would be cool. That'd be dope. Unfortunately, because of all the other things I'm seeing of how they're writing, I think you just came up with a far better story than what Leslie Headland had. If I'm wrong though, kudos to you, man. Like, that's brilliant. They don't focus on Moss a lot. Okay, interesting. Okay. Intriguing. Corey, I don't know if we let you talk about Osha's kind of like, let's kill May.
Yeah, I'm stumped with these characters. What do you think?
Acolyte has become, as the galaxy turns, it's just your typical TV drama, and those, although those daylight turns have better writing than this does, so again, it's bad writing, or we're gonna flip a switch real quick and make more drama because something happened in this ship. So no purpose, no rhyme or reason to it. We're just going to oh gosh, what were the as the world turns, and those that type of mentality is what I feel.
Soap operas.
Soap operas. There we go. And soap operas are normally pretty. Like there's a lot of people that watch them. A lot better story writing. There's been people watching them for decades. So, yeah.
It's an intriguing.
I couldn't stand Days of Our Lives though. General Hospital, that was my jam.
Well, we
put out there I can.
To the dangers of the forest, rodents of unusual size, or roly-polies of unusual size, which we learned that Osha says that she sensed this creature and therefore awakened him. So therefore she feels the guilt about Soul taking it out and killing it. And I feel like they were hinting at a little bit of something where they're like, oh, it's attracted to the light because it went straight for the lightsaber. So I think next episode, while we're in the dark with this big lightsaber battle with all the Jedi, I think we're gonna get lots of roly-poly invasion action going on. But I know this was particularly a scene, Koj, that you wanted to talk about. But what's your thoughts about kind of that theme that Osha was saying of like how she felt guilty about the creature dying?
No, that's why I hated it. It's like, because it came out of nowhere when she had that dialogue. Like, are they shoehorning that dialogue to tell her that she is like against killing, or did they put that in there to tell her that tell you the audience that she's like I don't know, against any life being killed, animal big or small? But how she's even the line delivery and how it said was just kind of weird too, because she's like, that happened just now. It was my fault that it happened. Yeah, if I didn't do that, it would have been live. There was no weight to her words, and I don't know if that's the actress's fault or the director's fault. But you could say the lines are bad, but I just feel like, where are these lines going to? Like her lines where she's like, I'm going back, I'm not going to join the Jedi. And then, yeah, you got to kill her. It's like the inspiration behind these weighted lines to express the character and her goals are not syncing up with each other. And they just happen out of nowhere. They kind of feel like last minute stuff to fill in where they think they're going. Kind of like, remember Wonder Woman 84, which I'm trying to forget? Remember where she's like, "Oh yeah, I forgot. I made this cup disappear with these powers, and I'm going to do it to this." It's like a last minute lazy thing, but at least God like sold that scene kind of. But I feel like there's these, but worse. And why are they here? They're all like new direction changing, none of well acting performance for them. I feel like these were shoehorned in to fast forward to something or do a course correction for something, and I can't tell what they're trying to do except all of a sudden make her like anti-killing or something. But it's not coming off well.
It was also kind of like an interesting way. Like I feel like they meant to do that particular part to also kind of suggest that Osha is starting to feel reconnected to the Force again. As she's hanging out more with Jay. Like it was like kind of like a side comment of just like, hey, I'm starting to sense things through the Force again, and I think I'm starting to awaken my ability. So that way it doesn't seem like a complete like surprise when she's able to do some crazy Force move in the next episode.
But also she said it was her fault that it died because she did that. That's the part where I'm like, okay, well, why are you throwing guilt in there? Where is this going? And if you're guilty, why don't you feel guilty? She's like, oh, too bad.
Maybe that's the reason, is to show that she's feeling more and more cold about it. But then kind of like what you say, Koji, though, is like the reason why I think it feels when she says she feels guilt about it and it feels not
convincing
is because she then goes into this whole thing about with Jackie that she feels, she left the Jedi because it was of her inability to let go of her loss. And I think this part right here, this one line that we got from Jackie, I think was one of the highlights of the episode, a very small highlight, but I loved that quote that she said, we're more defined by what we lost. We're not defined by what we lost, but by what we survived. God,
yeah,
that was a tongue twister. More defined by, not defined by what we lost, but by what we survived. Oh my God, I'm gonna have to practice.
No, that's a good one, because that's a replay. That's a nice play on like some other quote, like we're not defined by what happens to us, but we're defined by our choices after, or something like that. So yeah, it's a good line, but it's like a remix of something else. I'm not hating it. It's great. It's a different way to say that, powerful message. But
Don's
if
really
she had weight that needed to hear that would be better.
I agree with that. I do like that. Don's really going heavy into the witches and how that's why as the explanation for why a lot of them are dealing with the things they are. Interesting, Don. Like it's an interesting. I like where you're coming at.
Yep.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Yeah.
A quote was used in the opening of Conan the Barbarian, the 1982 film.
Right. Yeah. But now we get this. Sorry, Corey. Did you have anything to add for that particular scene? Yeah, I know you're waiting for
roly polies. There with Koji.
Yeah. But we get this scene with May and Kamir. They're deep within the forest, and you could tell May's out of breath. They stop for a breather. They're discussing, how her master wants her to achieve this mission that she's on, to take out these 4 Jedi, of how she has to do it without a weapon, and she's trying to make sense of it. Like how's this possible? She's like, I think it's the final test, the final lesson. But if I fail, the master's gonna kill me. And Kamir's kind of like, well, girl, like why are you freaking out about this now? We're like almost here, it's just like you're just panicking right now. Just relax. We'll figure it out. Let me go get you some water. And of course, we learn at that moment she's lying because she's fine. And honestly, I felt like that scene was weird. If anything, that was maybe one of the best acting moments for the May and Osha character, because I was like, there's no way this girl's tired. She's been training for almost 16 years with this master dude, and she cannot walk across the mountains. Like, no way. That's full of shit. And to have that little scene of where like, I'm just playing you to trap you, and so that way I can get away. But here's that craziness of this weird turn where May is like, I don't want to do this. I don't have to do this. I've killed 2 out of the 4 Jedi, so I think I'm good. I'm just gonna leave. Good luck having the master find me, because he's not going to be able to find us in here, because you helped me get in here, and anyone in here is going to need a tracker, blah 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 blah, just BS. But it's just this weird moment of I care about my sister, and I'm loyal to her. This scene makes me so upset and so angry, because literally in the previous episode we saw May feel betrayed by Osha so much to the point where she says, I'm gonna kill you. Like, I'm not gonna let you go to the Jedi. I'm gonna kill you because you betrayed me. You broke our promise, and you're gonna leave this good thing we got going on to be ascended, to be witches. So I'm gonna kill you by lighting up bricks. To all of a sudden, oh my God, Osha's still alive. You know what? The 16-year mission I'm going to be on, I'm good. I can just drop out. It came so far out of left field that it was just like, you just said in the previous episode that you wanted to kill your sister, but now she's alive, and you're like, no, I'm going to turn myself in. I think I'm going to get a good deal. Really? You just killed 2 Jedi and you want to surrender yourself to Kanaka and say, hey, I was here to kill you, but hey, I have some good information about this master dude. Even though Soul looked into your mind and knows that you have nothing, you don't even know who your master is. Like, you have no information that's valuable. You're going to be trialed. You're going to be guilty, and they're probably going to execute you, or you're going to be in prison forever, which is pretty much as good as death. So you might as well just have the master kill you. What was your guys' thoughts on this one? This was the one scene where I was like, I dropped everything. It was just like, whatever.
No, this is the final straw of all these U-turns these characters are doing, from Osha talking to her alien homie at Coruscant, all the way up to this one. All these little like forced dialogue things that don't go anywhere. And then this one was like, they're like, oh yeah, well, we could do it worse. Like, there's no lead up, there's no build up. Even when she was walking with the homie through to find this guy, there was no emotional or focus on her being distraught with a thought of choosing one side or the other. There was none of that. She just seemed bored. And then all of a sudden she does this character twist or turn. Out of all that, I couldn't stand that. That didn't make any sense. There's no merit. There's no buildup. There's no sincerity even to it. She couldn't even say. There's not even any dialogue to justify why she's going in this turn at all to begin with. She just did it.
Yeah,
it's no merit. I feel like if I try and figure it out, it hurts more.
It does. Like, it just,
I really don't like that at all.
Yeah, for an episode that already had like some really poor writing choices, it just added like another cherry on top to be like,
yeah, it's like,
okay,
you guys could actually get worse. Her whole motive just flipped for no reason.
Well, and not only that, she's killed 2 Jedi Masters, supposedly, right? Like, assuming Don's theory is not correct, right? Or that's not how they wrote it. Assuming that's not the story, right? And that she is just completely 180. She's, I like what the butler said, from heel to a baby face. She's been training the last 16 years with vengeance on her mind, not just for supposedly killing her sister, but for killing her mothers. She blames them. And honestly, she even blamed her sister. Remember when they're on the bridge and the place is on fire and Osha's like, "What did you do? You killed mom." And she's like, "What did you do?" You know, she's blaming Osha for it too. All of a sudden, like, I'm loyal to Osha. Screw all of this. The 16 mission that I've been passionate about, I've been driving myself to become the weapon I am, and all of a sudden I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm out. See you later. You know, I pulled a fast one on you, come here. You know, like,
Yeah, such decisions like that need something equally dramatic or traumatic as what led you on your first motive to begin with. You know,
agreed.
it like a long walk where you faked being tired would make you change your mind on everything.
Yeah, she's like, I'm really tired. This has been a long march for me. I just don't feel like doing it anymore. I'm tired. I don't want to mess with this Wookiee.
Yeah.
Corey, what was your thoughts about that particular scene?
Trash, man. Absolute trash. But in some ways, with how quickly they're like flipping a switch. Oh, I love you. We did this cool poem together. Oh, now I'm going to kill you. So it kind of made sense to me that I am going to kill everybody and all the Jedis too. I'm going to join the Jedis and turn myself in. Ha ha. Yeah. So,
you know,
I was like, oh, cool. We switched.
It could have merit
Yeah.
if she's like, hey, I got a new plan to do this job and I'm going to do it this way. But then again, her goal was to get that Wookiee Jedi, so that doesn't make sense. Why to infiltrate the Jedi to do that?
Yeah. Well, and you know, one of the funny
Sorry,
parts
I was thinking again, that hurt.
Right? Wonder Wife actually brought this up, and she, when this particular scene happened where she's like, I'm out, I'm loyal to my sister. Sarah like shook her head and was like, what? Like that makes no sense. And she literally said they're bipolar. This is bipolar. You know, because, and I was like, well, if they're consistent on one thing, is that the characters are bipolar, because we went from I love you, Osha, I'm gonna kill you, Osha, I'm loyal to you, Osha, to May being like, I care about you. No, I don't care about you. Oh, I don't want to get involved because it's not my problem. Let's kill this sister of mine. You know, like these girls, they just can't decide of how they're going to handle each other. And I can't wait until they're face to face again so that they can really hash out their problems. You know, it is going to be a very interesting conversation whenever they have it. But she leaves. What's that?
I don't even know how they're going to do that.
They're going to embrace each other, maybe give each other a kiss, and then boom, a lightsaber is going to go poking through one of them.
Just like, I don't know if I have the strength to do it. They both lightsaber each other.
And then they go through all the motions like, no, well, okay.
They both lightsaber each other.
Yeah. So she leaves Kamir hanging, but, you know, she was screaming to alert him. So now the Jedi are close by, but she runs into her dear friend, the tracker, Bessel. And Bessel alerts the Jedi, you know, it's time to go get her. And there was this quick little scene between Sol and Osha once again, where once again they're kind of leading up, but I still felt like it wasn't earned, where Osha's like, all of a sudden out of nowhere, she's like, you know what, I'm feeling comfortable. I think I can face May now. I think I can do what you want me to do.
I'm sorry to interrupt,
Go ahead.
To interrupt real quick, but I this last point, when Vader found out that Luke, his son, was alive, it was a game changer within Vader.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's some truth of that. It was apparent to me that there was still the Vader was still a little bit lost at that moment. That it wasn't until really because he chops off his son's hand, you know, he's still putting him in dangerous situations. I don't know. Yes, I do agree with you, Don. I just don't know if it was like the full on, like, this is the moment where Anakin awoke from, you know, knowing that his son was alive. I think it happens more in Return of the Jedi that he finally wakes up a little bit.
But yeah, because he said it's too late for me, son. And his only way was to not destroy Luke, but to have him turned so he's close to him, because he can't think anything outside of the dark side of the Force at that point. He's like, oh, I want my son with me, so he must join us. So it was a game changer, but it wasn't the game changer.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess it's a
But
matter
I
of
see your point,
perspective.
though.
Yeah, it's a good point, Don. But of course, May runs into Kelnaka's hut, and she's getting ready to surrender to him. But God, what do you know? Kelnaka's dead. And the more important thing about this particular thing is we now know, ladies and gentlemen, that the correct attack for a lightsaber is not a stabbing motion, it's just a simple slash, not even an inch deep.
Yeah, then you could, miss that area where there's nothing in there,
Nothing in there,
and you'll be
it's
survive.
just
You'll
a
be
little
okay,
cinched
wherever
hair.
that is.
Well, the thing that you got to remember, it's the poking that really messes you up.
Well, I mean, we've seen so many people in Ahsoka, in Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Not the cut I have.
Yeah, but not Qui-Gon Jinn. Somehow Qui-Gon, damn that stabbing motion. But the slash, man, the slash is what does it for Disney.
Can I tell you how pissed I was when I saw
then Darth
that?
Maul.
Like when I saw Kanaka turn around dead, I was like, damn you, Acolyte, bro. Damn you, Acolyte. You made a Wookiee Jedi. There's only, 6, 11, not a handful of Wookiee Jedis, and you don't do anything with him, bro. You have a Wookiee Jedi, and you don't do anything. You just see him in a couple of scenes, and then boom, dead.
Yeah, you just choose.
We don't get to see Wookiee Jedis very often. We got a live action Wookiee Jedi right here, and did not use them at all. Talk about they don't care about the story. Talk about they don't care about the lore in this damn show. They were like, oh, we have Wookiee Jedi. Oh, boom, no, we're not going to even use them. That's how you know this is bad writing. That's how you know.
They actually
it's lazy. It's a lot of effort to put someone in that suit to do the scenes, the prep time. Again, I feel like it's rushed, and then they take shortcuts like this that deny us what we've been wanting to see.
Well, you actually bring up a good point, Coach A, because the writer actually talked about why there wasn't this big action sequence, because there was a lot of fans that did feel like, there was it was kind of leading up, like, oh, how exciting, we're finally going to see a Wookiee Jedi, that's not the animated version or in the comics. We're going to see a live action Wookiee Jedi like throw down a little bit. And they're like, well, we didn't do it because of budgetary reasons.
There you go.
They're like, it just didn't work in the budget. And to me, it's like their budget was over $180 million. How the hell was Godzilla -1 that people debate if it was even $15 million was able to accomplish so much? And good God, what do you know it? Disney can't do a $23 million plus an episode show with a little bit of action sequence with the Wookiees, but hey,
I suspect they spend a lot of their money in reshoots and stuff.
Maybe,
because if they did have a tight budget, give the people what they want and save the Wookiee for just one action scene. He shows up, we would all be happy right there, and we'll have extended media to see more about his character.
I mean, maybe
if you're just going to use him for X amount of minutes, just have him for one battle, then we could see that.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying here, Don, but I to me, it's like, yeah, we're getting that. I'm fully expecting a lot of Jedi Masters to die. Hell, the next episode, I'm expecting this Master to go crazy and really take out a lot, take a lot with him. But my issue is,
I heard he's going to kill Kayandi Mundi.
Yeah, completely break canon, right? I mean, maybe it's possible. I mean, we won't see the Wookiee Jedi throw down in this present day timeline of this show, but maybe we'll get the flashback of the Jedi perspective of what happened 16 years ago, and see Kelnaka really mess up the witches. I don't know. That could be cool. Just seeing them tear apart their arms, or I don't know. So something's gonna have to be shown here, because it seems ridiculous. But I won't even give too much shade on the whole Jedi, no Wookiee Jedi throwdown, even though it was awesome to finally get a Wookiee Jedi, whatever though. But we know as they got May cornered, we get the big arrival of the Master, who floats down behind Osha, and kind of stares her down a little bit as he turns on his lightsaber. And boy, do the Jedi, man, do they just get their asses kicked, man. Hey, what's up, Orc and Beans? Hey, buddy, it's good to see you, bro.
buddy.
Hope you're doing well. Miss you, dude. Hope life's treating you well. But yeah, we get this really awesome scene, and I know it cuts off in a place that really upset people. I was okay where it cut off because hopefully, this is where I have faith. Hopefully, next episode is going to be like action packed. We're going to get some awesome, like Nick Gillard level lightsaber fighting where this one Sith dude is just taking up. But here's the problem. Here's the issue we just talked about. Boy, this Sith better be ready to kill them all because no one can let Mundi know that there's a Sith out there because, boy, they've been extinct for a millennium. So we'll see. Soul's gonna have
he gets hit on the head real hard and he sleeps through the whole thing.
Right, yeah. Probably. Like, I don't know what happened.
They're gonna brainwash them.
Probably. They brought back a Plo Koon species, but not Plo Koon. Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And that's why
they should have done that reverse. Maybe have like Kilnaka species, but not Kilnaka.
Yeah, and Don, we did talk about that earlier. Like our issue, if it is a cover up, is that at some point they've made the Jedi look so awful. If it is a cover up from Kiadi Mundi and who else, it could go all the way to Yoda, that it makes the Jedi just absolute, like, they're the dirtbags. They're the worst in the prequel trilogy. And honestly, you feel no guilt when they fall and the Empire rises, because who's really the good guys and who's really the bad guys? The ones in power
It's a bunch of bad guys.
Yeah, it's
Oh
just
my God,
bad versus
Trey.
bad.
That makes me so happy that you said that. See what's happening here? I'm going to the Jedi, and Trey is going to the Sith.
No, I will never be against the Jedi. What I'll be against is Disney's view on the Jedis, which clearly what is suggested in The Last Jedi, what is suggested in Rise of Skywalker, and really this Acolyte show is suggesting is that the Jedi were pieces of shit all along. And I don't agree with that. I think that's a mistake that Disney, if they continue down that route, they may as well take the loss on the money for Star Wars, the money they spent and paid George Lucas with, because they killed the brand at that time. Because I remember as a kid, it was cool to be a Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
it still is. I still don't accept this Disney universe.
And that's but see, to me, that's the issue, is we're going to grow up with younger generations going, the Jedi suck.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
that's the idea. Maybe Disney is like, from Disney's perspective, Star Wars is evil.
Yeah, right. It's just all white males, right? Apparently, forget Princess Leia, who was a badass and really, you know, leading the charge with the rebellion. Forget Queen Amidala, who was keeping the Senate together to be peaceful and to handle things with humanity. Forget all the other, you know, alien species that were trying to get shit done, you know, and about a community. It's really droids that Star Wars is racist to, I guess you could say, you know.
No, but if they wanted to use the racism theme, they could have used it. Like maybe the Empire was like specific on which human and only humans can join the Empire. You don't see any aliens joining the Empire, you know. They can say that, hey, they were killing off all the, you know, different ethnicities of human beings just to have one perfect for the stormtrooper outfit or something. You know, they could have used it and added it, you know, instead of like, you know, just attack the whole thing because of the sign of the times when things were monochromatic. You look at old stuff like Lawrence of Arabia. There's a lot of horrible casting there, but a great film, important film. But you know, just a sign of the times, and you can't attack a franchise for that. I think it's
some good points, Koji. So one thing I did want to bring up, because I heard an interesting theory, and I want to get our audience's take on it before we score this episode. But a lot of people think that this Smilo Ren, as Don called it, I like that Smilo Ren. I used to just call it the Joker Sith, but I like the Smilo Ren.
I'm saying it's like a rejected Slipknot mask.
Yeah, right. There's a lot of people that think, well, hey, this makes sense. What if it's been Kamir all along? Because you've never seen him in the same room, right? And he's close by. He knows where May and he knew where Kelnaka was. Maybe, and according to the wound of Kelnaka, it looks like it happened fairly recently. So it could have been that when he went off to go get water, he sliced her up, heard the scream. Sorry, he sliced up Kelnaka, ran to the scream, got captured, saw that as his opportunity. Let us know in the chat. Do you guys think Kamir is actually I'll make a poll real quick to make it easy for you guys. But Koj, what's your thoughts? So who do you think is this master character?
Oh, you're on mute. You're on mute. Koj, we can't hear you.
My bad. I'm glad you paid attention to my pointing. No, I think it's two. I think it's either the green alien girl or this dude, because it's just physically convenient. Because then, with May turning course to not go on this mission, he would have to do the mission and then course correct by attacking the Jedi, and that would make sense. But I'm at this point where anything that makes sense is probably not the choice they went with.
Yeah, right. I mean, it could very well be, Adurna, like Don was saying, which I think I'd never considered her to be the one, but I dig that. I love that idea. Based off how this episode was written and how the previous 3 episodes were written, I don't believe they're that intelligent to create such a good reveal like that. I think it's going to be something disappointing. I had a theory that it was Soul, because Soul has an attachment to the girls that seems very un-Jedi like.
Plus, when they showed the hand wasn't green.
Oh,
true. Good point. Yeah, it wasn't green. I know, Corey, you said at one point your theory was it's the Mother Witch.
Yeah, the one with the Dathomir spikes on her. I think that she may have
the one who carried
survived,
girls,
and
right?
Maybe if we want to get into it, then that's why some of these Jedi Masters are still under witch spells, because they put it on them, so to kind of go deeper into that. I don't think it's Kamir personally. I think it's probably going to be the Mama Witch, is what I'm kind of thinking.
I want it to be him, just out of
that's
the
going
fact that. Go on.
And that's why you're going to see the flip. You're going to see Korra go back to the dark side, to the mom, because she feels like she let her down, type thing, that sense of regret. And May is going to go light side because, there's that, oh, that's horrible what you've been doing to me, and I'm moving away from this.
It's an interesting theory, Corey.
Don't bother, Orc.
I haven't seen the show. I've not saying good things about it. Is it worth watching?
Have
if
fun
you
with
don't
your
have
wife.
Disney Plus anymore, Orc and Beans, I would say it's not worth paying the subscription. But if you want to use a free trial to Disney Plus to binge it all, then go right ahead. But at this point,
it's free trial worthy.
Trial worthy, for the simple fact, if you're a huge Star Wars fan and you just need new Star Wars content. For me,
I wouldn't say it's free trial worthy.
Or if you really like seeing a lot of lightsabers light up and go woo, it got you there for a few seconds. So
I'd say it's not free trial worthy. Don't waste your time.
Yeah, I agree, Butler. I think I said that on our watch party. That I was like, if it's Kamir, even another, to me, that would just be another check that says just bad writing, just not very, just that wouldn't be good. There would be it wouldn't be weight. It wouldn't be everyone would just be like, oh, okay.
I want it to be a whole different character,
someone we haven't seen.
That would be smart of them. Are they smart?
Like a creature like Asajj Ventress, but not her, of course. Because she had Sith movements, but she wasn't really officially Sith. I mean, that's the best way I think it could save it. Keep
I kind of
anything
dig that.
interesting.
All right,
Oh my God, we found out who it is.
Who is it?
It's me.
Oh my God. I like that. That's pretty good.
I know what you're saying, Tom, but I feel like with this, how bad this writing's going to be, they're going to make it where, like, oh, you know, the Jedis are kind of bad, the Sith is going to be kind of good, you know, it's going to be one of the witches because she hates what the, what
it could be.
Here's why I really think it is. In an interview with her, she said that she wanted to make the Jedi bad guys to the bad guys. So if these witches are kind of the bad guys, well, yeah, the Jedi are going to be those bad guys to the bad guys. So to me, it's the kind of the logical with what they've hinted at. But who knows? Catch my receipts when I'm right.
I mean, no, it's Kathleen Kennedy.
Yeah,
I love that.
She's destroyed the Sith.
You know, since they're witches, maybe they should be the With.
Exactly.
They're not the Sith; they're the With.
The With. The With.
I'm
Return
stretching
of the With.
Return of the With.
All right, I'm gonna end the poll real quick. Let's see what you guys said here. Is Kamir the Dark Master of the Acolyte? And you guys, oh wow, 55% said yes.
Huh.
I wonder if that's just because you guys think like bad writing so far. Probably
it's probably it could very well be that. We'll all be like, when it does happen.
In all honesty, if that is the reveal, like the next watch party you see us will probably be like.
I have a question. How far would it take for us to not watch party it, or are we gonna go all the way? Can they break us so bad that we'd be like, nah? Because there's a lot of other love for Star Wars. I feel like there's some hope that something will be redeeming, that there'll be something that makes it all worthwhile. Because I had that feeling with Last Jedi at the point where Kylo Ren and Luke showed up. It was like, oh, if this becomes a dope throwdown, I could like forgive so much in the movie, and nothing happened. So this trauma of the Last Jedi, I'm feeling with this show right now. I'm just, I don't know. It's kind of curious, but also baiting, and I don't know. It's trippy.
The witches did, in fact, use a male toner. Oh, to fix the Chosen One prophecy. I don't think they're going to fix that. I mean, it would be nice if they would fix that, not to ruin the specialness of Anakin Skywalker. But knowing how these writers have been, I think they're just gonna try to make it their own. They're gonna try to take the. See, Anakin wasn't the first. It was this, I don't know. It's an interesting. It was off book, right? Yeah. I think there's definitely some agenda talking there a little bit, but I don't know.
I want you to answer Kojay's question because I know where I'm at.
What would it take?
Yeah.
Here's the issue with me on stuff when it comes to watching shows or reading a story. Sometimes it doesn't matter how bad it is. I'm just one of those people that like I gotta know. I gotta know. A
completionist.
Yeah, I have to finish it. They would have to do something so. I mean, they've already brushed the border for me, the line. They would have to do something that really just makes me like, oh my god, that was so un-Star Wars. They completely ruined Star Wars. Screw this show. I'm not sure what. Obviously, I don't know what that is because if they did it, I would do it. I'm kind of already there with it, but
I am there.
Yeah, Corey's here because I forced him to run our shows. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you.
I was actually surprised that you you pushed it back for me. So when I had to work late, I was like, "Hey, man, I'm sorry."
Hey, you're the best co-host I could ever ask for, dude.
It was unexpected, but I was totally expecting when I had text Trey that, "Hey, I'm going to be late tonight," and I was expecting him to say, "All right, we'll run the show without you," because.
The show's already forcing me to drink. It's not just blue milk anymore. It's spiked blue milk. It's the blue Tuscan.
I just feel like we are there already. Like you made it to the mid-season already. We're working on the back half now, and you still haven't got me hooked on this at all. And most of it, it's mostly her fault too. Lovely Helen's fault. She said she wanted, like we didn't go care about anything, the outside noise of what she was saying. When you look at the trailers of Trey's and I's, reviews of them, we were excited for the show. It looked promising.
Mm-hmm.
And then, it started to be kind of, mid-tier, and then it started to go trash. And then we see this. And then I started looking into like, okay, who are these people? Like what's going on here? And then I learn about them, and I hear that they're trying to make the gayest Star Wars, or they're trying to make the Jedi look evil, and that they don't care about the story or the lore. Like what was it? Kaiju Crazy Craig Rowland, when agenda becomes the reason instead of the story. I added on to the story is going to suffer, and this story is trash. It's about to use some choice words there, trash. And I guess my point is I know we took the poll and everything like that the community wants us to continue, and I'll honor that, but in reality, like I don't like talking trash about things, and I don't like to like talk negatively about content. If I'm not enjoying it, like I'm cool if you're out there and you're loving this right now, good for you. I'm happy that somebody's liking this, but it's just getting frustrating for me. Like it's like why are we watching this? They're constantly decanonizing stuff, they're making mistakes. It's just like it's dumb.
So let me just see what you guys think of this. I forgot to bring up this point from the writer. Someone asked her a question, said, like, why was she even killing Jedi in the first place then? Talking about May. I assume she wanted revenge. Does her sister being alive remove her thirst for revenge then? I'm just having trouble understanding how does one go from death to the Jedi to full the Republic? Screw this Acolyte guy. And Claire Kitchell, who's the writer, said she's not quote unquote good in that moment. She's just super tired of this pointless, what she considers pointless missions and errands her master is making her do. And I think the revenge that really fueled her just isn't quite the same once she knows Osha is alive. That's all fine and dandy.
Wow.
But to me, it's like 16 years of training, doing what her master tells her for this moment, so that she is a skilled assassin prepared to take out the four that ruined her life, the four Jedis that ruined her life, try to take her sister away. But deep down is what her sister wanted. Her sister told her 16 years ago, I don't want to be you. I don't want to share. I want my own life. I want to go with a Jedi. I broke my promise for you. So it's her sister that made the choice, not the Jedi. Yes, the Jedi were there. They made the situation. Who knows what happened exactly 16 years ago that the building somehow lit on fire and crumbled upon all the witches. Feel like there's a perspective of the Jedi that we need to see, especially why they feel guilt. But she's saying that now that Osha is alive, her reason, she's already tired of these pointless missions. She's 16 years. Who gives a shit? I'm gonna leave. What do you think about that? What do you think about the writer's reason for May's turn?
I think the writer's writing excuses.
She thought she was going to get away with some bullshit, and people are calling her out on it. And I was like, oh, I'm trying to fill something in.
Just go back to our Snyder days when people like, hey, what does this mean, Snyder? And he's like, oh, well, it means this. He's expanding. This is like rewriting a reason that wasn't told where it should have been told, so we didn't have to ask this question to begin with. So it's like, are they baiting just to have interaction with the crew of this thing, or
you want to know what this reminds me of, Trey? What I'm seeing here, especially after watching this dumb writer was, or Claire Keiko, whatever. I think the thing that like I'm seeing here is like I'm seeing like some James Gunn tendencies with this entire show and everything like that. This need to like go, respond to the comments and such like that. But even more so, who really reminds me of James Gunn is Leslie Headland, bro. She is failing upwards. James Gunn has more hits than Leslie Headland. Like, how did she get a chance to do this story, to do the show? Kathleen Kennedy is trash as well. So we need to, these guys should be, cut out, never allowed to work in, Hollywood again. Maybe that's a little too far, but they definitely need to stay away from important IPs. And what pisses me off, Trey, what pisses me off is like we said earlier, this is agenda becoming the reason behind instead of the story. They're just trying to push the agenda, trying to push bullshit into our faces. That's what this Acolyte show's about. It doesn't care about story, it doesn't care about lore. It's trying to make the Jedi look evil, and they're trying to make the gayest Star Wars, pushing their agenda. And what pisses me off, dude, is like, these people are failing up. Like, if you look at Leslie Headland's IMDb, she doesn't have shit on there for anything that she's accomplished well. And yet we got people like this man right above me who's working out there making amazing content and creating a fabulous story from the bits and pieces that I've seen and saw so far. That's has it's a short movie, and it has so much more story than this show or a lot of other shows nowadays. So it's upsetting to me that we're giving these people who are just trying to push agenda and BS when we could be having people like Koj, producing actually quality content out there in Hollywood. So,
yeah, I mean, and more importantly, to have someone like who actually likes Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Who loves Star Wars. Like you can tell when someone is writing because it's a job, they're getting paid, and someone who's writing because they love the IP. And one of the great examples I think about this is recently with the Monsterverse with Michael Dougherty. Godzilla King of the Monsters, you could tell that dude has been a lifelong Godzilla fan. There were so many references that like you were like, dude, if you were a Godzilla fan, you're like, bro, I know that reference. No one else caught it, but I saw what you did there. Thank you. Same thing with Adam Wingard with the recent, X-Kong, The New Empire, where it was very Showa era. You could see that the influence oozing out of that film, that you're like, oh, I know what he did there. Like, okay, yeah, dude. You see when people who love the content, Zack Snyder with his comic book movies where he does straight out of the comic movie shots, from 300 to Watchmen to Batman v Superman, where you got those Dark Knight Return shots. Like, you see the people who love the IP. To them, it's not a job, it's fan service. And I'm not saying everything has to be fan
it's also
service.
an honor
They take it with. Yeah, and honestly, responsibility. They feel the weight that as a fan, I need to make something that I would want to watch, that I would want to see. It's okay to push the envelope. I hope you do. Give us something new. Don't give us something, that we've seen time and time again. That's part of Marvel's issues. Their formula is the same thing over and over again with some of their movies. But
to add to that,
sorry, go ahead.
Like even G.I. Joe. We've got 2 movies of G.I. Joe. First one was made by the director of The Mummy. They're like, hey, you could do a franchise. But the second one, the director is a diehard G.I. Joe fan. And then I don't know if you're familiar with that, or if you saw the director's cut of the second one. Big differences. The second one, I really felt like I was watching a G.I. Joe comic book, not just the animation. The dude really loved it. And even though we got Dwayne Johnson to be the lead somehow, but that's just how he does. His character always trumps everybody. But you can see that passion in that play, and then they give the fans what they want because they themselves are a fan. They want to make a movie for what they want to see as a fan, and that's where we're connected. And I think whoever's steering the ship, the director, teamed up with producers and the talent of the crew. They should, make themselves happy and not just try and push some like we were saying, this agenda because it's hollow. And I don't like push agendas too, because the gay community is great. They have their own film festivals, and I've seen some of their films, and they're thought-provoking and wonderful. I have no problem with representation. I have a problem with false presentation.
Yes.
And that hurts all parties that want to, move forward with acceptance with human beings and the difference of each other. And then when you just sugarcoat it with some things like, hey, buy our product, it just destroys any meaning anywhere.
Yeah. Don says, finding out that her sister is alive should be a game changer, but they didn't do this well. I think that's key, Don. Yeah, that's a great point. They're using the same actress to play twins. Not a good move from production standpoint. It doesn't bug me that they use the same actress. And honestly, I'm not even sure if I can blame her for how things are being performed, because I just think the writing isn't there. I don't think they're given the time to really flesh out these characters. This whoever said it earlier, I think, was it Crazy Craig Rollins, who said they rushed this episode. It felt rushed. It felt like this maybe needed to be a two-parter, episode 4 and 5, because they really skipped over some major character arcs, some major changes and changes of heart, like Don said, that it didn't feel natural. And kind of like what Koj said, where like it's okay to kind of have that representation, and if it's done well, right? Because one of the shows that I really loved recently, it's an animated show called Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous, which had a sequel that was Jurassic World Chaos Theory. And there was 2 characters on there that over time, it took like 5 seasons, but they finally became a couple, and it was the same sex couple. And I was like, it didn't feel like it was an agenda. It didn't feel like they were forcing it or cramming it down our throat. It was the most natural progression I've ever seen for a story that I couldn't be like, that's woke. It was like, that made sense to me. Those were 2 really good people who weren't friends, who over time became good friends, really started to develop a relationship and care for each other. And they continued their character arc throughout Chaos Theory. That was like, you guys are doing a good job of this. And you never force it in people's face. It felt very natural to how those characters would have gone through their story. Everything they're doing in here feels like an agenda forced thing, that they're just trying to push it in there just to be like, look what we did with Star Wars, you white, it was made by a white director, George Lucas, and he had mostly white people in his movies. And we all
know who he's married to, right?
Yeah.
It's like, God.
To me, and that's the issue, right? Is the writers of this show are thinking too much about agenda rather than story. And I hope that changes. Maybe we're wrong. Maybe this is like a Ahsoka situation where everyone hated Ahsoka in the beginning, and over time, at the end of Star Wars Clone Wars, everyone became fan of Ahsoka, and we couldn't wait until we saw Ahsoka again in Star Wars Rebels, and eventually getting her own spin-off live-action show. It could be that. It could be so wrong, and maybe this is the brilliant setup that no one saw coming. And it's a trap. The problem is, I don't think Star Wars, The Acolyte, is going to have enough fans watching to get to that point. You're not giving us enough juicy content that's worth watching these last 4 episodes that people are like, All right, I'll check out the next. I've heard so many people say I've already dropped the show. Don says they wanted to throw audiences off. Majority of fans care more about respect to source material, and I think it's important to be respectful to source material. Like I said, I'm okay if people test the boundaries or kind of push it a little bit to create something, but as long as it's done well and doesn't destroy what came before or what will come after, technically because of how George Lucas filmed those things. But guys, what would you score? Audience, let us know. What would you score episode 4 of The Acolyte? We're halfway in.
Do it. 3. I give it a 3.
Okay.
Sorry.
just a solid 3. I like it.
Solid 3.
The rookie score, but I love it. I love it nonetheless. It's a rookie score for rookie writers.
I mean, the lightsabers are beautiful. That's a 1 point. The scenery and costumes are on point. That's 2 points. 3 for Soul, and there we go.
Okay. Super Bro Corey, your thoughts?
Garfield, maybe.
Garfield, maybe.
Any regrets watching Acolyte? I would. Man, my hatred for this episode is like pulling away the good parts from like Soul and that Lord of the Rings scene. I'm going to have to give it a shitty score though because of how much like they did damage. This episode was damage. I don't think I can even rate this a score. This was damaging to the IP, damaging to the lore, and they went the complete opposite way with this bullshit episode. This episode gets a minus 1 for me, minus 10. I don't. Yeah, let's do minus 10. You suck.
Really, you're gonna go that far on it?
Yeah.
Wow, you went negative.
When you're blowing out actual legend and canon and lore with Kayandi Mundi, and you have a Wookiee Jedi and you don't give a shit with them in this episode, the flip-flopping back and forth and everything like that, the only reason it didn't get a negative 100 is because of Master Soul. It's straight up trash, man. The decanonization, the pushing the agenda, it's trash. Straight trash.
Okay. What did I give last score, Corey? Was it 4.2?
Follow up me now, Trey. We got a 3 and a negative 10 here.
Jesus. See, now
that's
I'm gonna
negative 7.
I'm gonna have to counter Corey to like bring it to back to some substance. I tried. Like I said when we first started our stream tonight.
I'm making big screen so they could look you in the eyes as you lie to them.
Jesus. I really tried to find reason with this episode. Like I tried to. You saw my reaction at the watch party. I was not happy. I thought they made a lot of mistakes. My second time watching it, I tried to pay attention to how my Wonder Wife was reacting without leading her on to anything to get her own honest reaction. She had similar reactions to me. And I tried to look at it as if I was going to argue it with myself. Like argue with the Trey that watched it during the watch party and the second viewing Trey. Traitor! Argue what I liked about it the second round and different. And I found myself second round, even like being prepared for things. I found myself going like, that's even worse. Oh God, that's not even, I can't explain that. I can't make that better in my own mind. And I hope it gets better. I really do, because like I'm a Star Wars fan. I don't want to see Star Wars suck. They're just making a lot of mistakes that I think are lazy. I think are being done without being a lover of the IP, and I'm kind of tired of it. And I'm tired of the headlines and the articles and the people running Disney and Star Wars and some of the actors trying to throw it on the fans, that saying like, oh, there's bigotry going on, racism and sexism. And I was like, there are a few bad apples out there. I'm not going to deny that. There's a few bad apples in every fandom. God, I know that because I'm also a DC fan. With that being said, when the majority of the fans are still saying you're not treating us with respect, you're not treating the thing we love with respect, you're writing it because it's a job, and you're trying to push something that's not Star Wars. You're trying to push you and your beliefs. Now I start to have a problem. So I think the lowest score I've given so far was a 4.2, and I think that was last episode, because I was really trying to see like let's see where they go with this.
Yeah, we were mid fives.
There's this was a step in the wrong direction for me. I'm gonna go with a 2.5. Yeah, I'm gonna go with a 2.5.
Perfect. We're still in the negatives.
Corey, I don't think there was any way of
I scored higher. Wow. You liked it more than I did.
You were nice, Koji, because you're right. There was some shots, good scenery. You
It didn't help the story.
Stretched it. You stretched it.
I did.
You got the shots. Yeah, some good stuff there. Yeah. So some things that please you, but the story what drove it home, and messing up canon is why I gave it such a low score. Like you can't blunder. Like I'm, when you're working with an IP that has such a huge lore to it and has such a huge theme to it, then there is sometimes that it is okay to make some liberties and everything like that, but and do some different things and try some new things into it. But when you're starting to mess with characters that are, staples in that lore, and you really mess them up, yeah, get ready for the heat. Your show sucks. You're going to get a lot of hate from it, because
to me it's just confirmation that they're not Star Wars fans. You know, that they probably haven't even watched the movies, the ones that George Lucas did.
Yeah. They're probably like after people started reacting to it and people were like episode one. They're like, oh, they're probably Leslie Headland was like, why are they talking about episode one? And they sound they're like,
It could be a business ploy, because even the WWE for a long time, for their stories, they want to get non-wrestling fans to be part of it. So they hire people who don't watch wrestling to write the stories. A lot of the writers have said that they don't even watch the product or know what's going on.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm really hoping, guys. I have a feeling episode 5 could be interesting, just because I think it's going to be very action packed with a good lightsaber action. My only issue is I think Leslie Headland said that be prepared for some of the best lightsaber fights in Star Wars history, and it's like, okay, now you're saying you're going to do something Nick Gillard level of Revenge of the Sith, Duel of Fates, and Battle of the Heroes. Prove it. Go for it, because so far Disney has shown they cannot do lightsaber battles. They suck at it. I would love to see something on the Nick Gill, and if they pull it off, I'll praise the hell out of that, because we need a damn good lightsaber battle.
Yeah, desperately.
That's
my question before. Oh,
yeah.
Damn.
What were we gonna say, Coach?
No, during the watch party, we have yet to have of this Disney era an epic, memorable lightsaber battle.
I would also love to see what Soul's character is still very interesting. He kind of took a backseat this round for me because he wasn't really a focus. But we'll have to see where they go with him. And I'm interested in what they do with this master character, his reveal. But I have a feeling his reveal is going to be disappointing, sadly. But we'll find out. We'll find out together. Yeah. Like I said, Tuesday will be our watch party. We're switching up the times as soon as it releases. Yeah, what's up?
We have to go to the chat and see what they scored it.
Oh, okay. Yes.
I'll BRB if you don't mind.
Sounds good, sir. Good. All right. So Oracle's Clock Tower gave us a 3.2. Red Hooded Outlaw gave us a 0.5. Don Ramon said, I will watch it, even if it's cringe. 1.5 from Qatar Law. A 2 from Beyond the Night. A 1 out of 10 from Butler. Episode 4, like a 5 is what Don said. 2.3 from The Batman Who Laughs. 2.5 from Joker's Wild. 3.5 from Carrie Kelly. 9 Lives in Hell here, giving it 2.7. 2.9 from Wayne's Enterprises. Kaiju Crazy Craig Rowland gave it a 3. Tim Stock gave it a 3.
Oh, wow.
Don says episode 4 is a filler episode.
I agree.
3.8 from King Donkey Kong. Maybe 2 from Tim's Talk. Emotional damage.
Which, guys, if you have not checked out Tim's Talk's YouTube channel, please do. He's doing Star Wars content as well and does a lot of other stuff.
3.6 from Trevor H. They killed the Wookiee off screen. 2.7 from Restore the Snyderverse guy, and it didn't even look like it was much of a struggle, which was disappointing.
Well, to me, it's like it was just a slash, like didn't look deep, didn't look. I mean, we've seen so many people survive a stab through the stomach, but you had a Wookiee with a slash, few hairs cinched. He gone.
For some reason, he just decided not to live anymore.
We don't know why, but maybe.
So the stab thing pisses me off so much. So one of my favorite directors, Zhang Yimou, Hong Kong director or Chinese director, because there's no real Hong Kong cinema anymore, which breaks my heart. Long story there. In his film, 2002 film Hero, a character found a technique to stab a sword into a certain part of the body that avoids all organs, and the person survives in a week. And it was a difficult to do technique, and a sword is thin, and so they could kind of get away with that style in that story world. For Star Wars, I call BS because the laser, the light, it burns and it destroys everything in its way. There's no safe way to go about it, even fictionally.
Yeah,
I can't stand that ish.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can't even, like with Phantom Menace, when Qui-Gon Jinn stabs the lightsaber in the doors and it's melting through the doors.
Right.
It's like, how do we explain that it's not working?
I mean, maybe an alien character could get away with it, possibly. Oh, you missed the heart or stomach, but we human beings, we know how we're built. Everything's compact in there. It's like, come on, I don't like that. I haven't seen any of those Star Wars stuff where people survive from that, so it's not canon to me. And that's the thing I want to say I don't like about Disney. Disney always does it their way. They'll always reboot anything, and I'll go as far as freaking Snow White. That's not even their story. They changed it. They added things. Rusaluchka, Little Mermaid. They changed a whole bunch of stuff with that story. She's actually blue-haired, close to white-haired, and she dies in that story. Sacrifices, and her guy, the prince, marries someone else, but she loves him so much, she lets him do that. And she was able to talk and walk. The only thing is when she walked, each step was pain, like needles. Because the metaphor is that she's so in love with this guy, she's literally walking on eggshells because she's loving him at the expense of herself, but she was selfless love. And then she went to the sea. Clearly, Ariel, Little Mermaid, they didn't do any of that. So all these stories, even Beauty and the Beast, there was no talking clock and all that stories. So they're always, even from the princess stories, they've always rebooted everything. So when they took over Marvel or rights and did this, I was like, all right, whatever we liked, it's one way or another, it's going to be rebooted. And depending on the powers that be, that'll define how rebooted it will be or retconned. So this is just Disney doing Disney.
Yeah.
Sadly,
they
another
haven't
thing.
learned their lesson yet.
Oh, and I also remember nothing. How is this show shot? Is it digital? Completely digital?
I think so.
So most things are. So Michael Bay's first Transformers movie, he's gone on record in some interview in a magazine or whatever that he shot the whole thing like digitally or something. He was proud about that because George Lucas shot Attack of the Clones digitally. First movie shot digitally. Oh, we got that. So got that under our belts, right? So Michael Bay has admitted that he was editing the film before it premiered the day before on his computer. And is able to upload all this stuff. So I'm wondering, all this budget for this film, was it set aside to force course correct as it's being released? Did they really shoot all this, or did they shoot it and then do these extra scenes to fill in to course correct the story with the bad reviews as they're going along? Do we know? Can we know? Is this part of the NDA? Will we know? These are the things I always am suspicious about because this is the TV realm. In TV, they go through so many cuts before it hits. There's a writer's cut, producer's cut, this producer's cut, the director's cut, and back to this producer's cut. It goes through so many things that now with this technology, are they still changing it as it goes along?
That's interesting.
If so, that could be what's hurting it even more because it had no substance, and then they're trying to clean up a ship once it's at sail. I don't know.
I like that.
So I'm curious.
To kind of push through real quick, 4.2 from Dean Classified, 4.3 from Atomic.
Oh, sorry, we're doing over this.
Nope, you're okay. 2.8 from Red Robin, 1.7 from hashtag Restore the Snyderverse guy, 3.8 from Bat Fanatic, and I think that was it.
Okay. Scored. Gotcha. Acolyte will have some kind of nostalgia scene, truly reminiscent of the Phantom Menace. Interesting. If it looks cheesy, then it's bypass. Carrie Kelly, blah, 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 blah.
I was talking to a guy that likes it, and
you were talking to a guy that likes this show?
Yeah.
But you were saying he's never watched any other Star Wars thing, right?
No, he doesn't care about canon. He's like, yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm just watching for entertainment. He didn't even really acknowledge the Kai Adimundi thing. I was like,
The Ki-Adi-Mundi.
Yeah, Ki-Adi-Mundi. Yeah.
I wonder if I could re-edit this whole thing and take stuff
honestly,
out.
I can't wait to see. Like, I was already thinking, we're already halfway through the show, and I bet Kai Patterson, who did the Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
I love that. Like, I can't wait until he gets a hold of this thing because he will make this show far superior.
The first thing is
what's that?
The power of one, the power of two,
Jesus,
the power of many.
I don't know though. We'll have to see though. So far, not out of all the Disney shows. I know there was a lot of people who kind of ripped apart Book of Boba Fett, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Where I'm at right now, I would gladly take those shows back.
I'm liking Rings of Power way more than this.
Yeah, I liked Rings of Power too. I thought that was a good show. Interested in seeing season 2. But Koj, as we start to wrap up tonight, what you got coming up on your channel, my man?
Hey, I'm just doing more of my Koj's Corner. Actually, I did one today, and then I ended it quickly. But to not miss the show, I was not missing your stuff. So I'm just doing more of that. But the one I'm hyped for is my next watch party, The Restless, next Friday. Oh, thank you. June 28th, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. Y'all get to watch it for free. I'll also provide links, Dropbox. You could even join in the backstage to watch the share screen I'm sharing with the panel. You won't be seen. You won't talk to anybody. But it'll be free for you to enjoy because this movie is phenomenal. And seeing what we have been denied from what was promised with Acolyte, this just might deliver some Star Wars level action adventure in the martial arts fantasy realm. And it's a beautiful movie. I can't wait to show it to y'all and experience it with you all. My sister's going to be there, her second appearance on my show, Retro Nerd Girl. Trey is going to be there. Hopefully Corey. But if not, I'll do an encore just for you, bro. It's going to be fun.
Woo-hoo.
So I look forward to seeing you all there.
Yeah, boy, that's gonna be a fun watch. Right, I can't wait to join you guys. Koj has been
Korean
killing it on those Korean films lately. One that partly made us super excited for Star Wars: The Acolyte with Along with the Gods, because it had John J. Lee, who plays Master Soul, in it. It was partly why we were so excited for the show, because like he's brilliant in those movies.
Man, how do you waste talent?
Right, he's even brilliant in this. He's just not getting a good story around him. He's really, at this point, he's really like the only highlight of the show, which I feel bad, because I want something better for him. But hey, man, Replay Crew, if you're watching this and you're like, man, these guys, they're missing all the good stuff that's coming from this show, please tell us. We always welcome like your opinion, as long as you're respectful. Tell us what you're liking about the show. We really want to hear those opinions, because maybe it'll make us look at it differently. I'm hearing from a lot of people the same issues I have had, and that bums me out, because I'm trying so hard to find reasons to like the show, to keep going. But like I said on our thumbnail, it's getting hard to watch for us. Hopefully it's a different story with episode 5. I want it to be. I need it to be. But if you want to check out other Star Wars content, we've done some watch parties of the 25th anniversary of Phantom Menace. We've done Tales of the Empire reaction videos, breakdowns of previous Star Wars shows like Mandalorian and Obi-Wan Kenobi. So make sure you guys check that out. We got some great Star Wars content. Or if you like other movie stuff, we talk a lot about DC, the Monsterverse, even some Marvel, Jurassic World, Jurassic Park. We have some cool videos coming up for you guys. So you already know what to do. Smash that like, share this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. You know our channel to be positive. We like to be positive. We also like to be honest with you. And it kills us. I always say that's partly why I made me a Blue Tuscan drink tonight with the blue milk. Thank you, Oracle, for the super chat.
I like how you needed liquor just on reflecting on the show.
Right. we're just trying, man. We're trying to find ways to enjoy this show, and it's just not happening, and that's bumming me out beyond it's just bumming me out. We like to be positive, but we like to be honest. But
I got you on Friday.
I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Be on the lookout for our Jurassic World Chaos Theory Season 1 review. That's going to be coming out this weekend. Can't wait to talk to you about that show. Wonder Wife will be joining me for that, so be on the lookout, guys. Thank you so much. Tim's talk. I would love to have you all on soon. Bro, I know you're on. Tim's talk was actually on earlier talking about the Acolyte. I wanted to join, but I was like getting ready for this show, so I'm so sorry our timing didn't work out. But Tim, it's gonna happen. We're gonna make it happen, brother. I hope you're well, though. Hope you're doing good. Hope your family's well. But guys, thank you so much for hanging out with the Delta Squad today on the Bat Channel. I am your host, Trey, with our boy Koj and a super bro sympathizer, super bro Corey. Thank you guys so much. I am your host, Trey, with Koj. Wait, I already said this. I'm losing it. See, I'm tired. The Blue Tuscan is working, guys. Don't forget to tune in weekly.
I have failed you, Anakin. I have failed you.
It's late. It's late on a Friday night. It's literally midnight.
Oh,
Don't forget to tune in weekly.
Same time. Oh, Corey messed me up.
Same bad time, same bad channel. Let's go.
Just have a good night.
That was too heavy, bro.
Thanks for staying up late with us. It was fun. Bye.